Okay, well, I am on this. Thank you so much. So allow me to repeat the diarrhea, the mouth, the constipation, the plane that I just ended up stating before. Senior Skull, what's a crack a lacking? How do you feel about Mbumbu supposedly joining United? How do you feel about the most must-see superstar in all of the WWE supposedly being released alongside Carlito and R-Truth? But most importantly, how do you feel yourself? Is the crack a 90? Is it all going grand, my friend? How are things with you? Go to tools to use. Tools. Where are the tools? I'll worry about it the next time. Anyway, how's the crack with you anyway, Senior Skull? Is it all going well? Is it all going grand? We're going to continue on. We're going to play our game, and we're going to see how we end up doing against the Danish side now. Their league isn't active in my particular save, but there'll still be a competition for us. So we'll have to hope and see that it ends up going grand. I did inspect R-Truth and Carlito. Surprise due to Judgment Day, but until I hear we go, no signed. I mean, same thing with me. I'm not shocked about the Carlito one. I am shocked about the R-Truth one, because honestly, after putting him into the positions that they ended up putting him in, I thought that he'd end up having a bit of a forward run. I thought that they could end up doing stuff with him, and I think it's a bit of a misplay not to use him, considering you have him, and he appears to be in okay fashion. That's my viewpoint. That's where I think there's a problem. But at the end of the day, they've went for what they've went for, and it seems to be fine. It won't make any difference. Everyone whinging about it is a fool. It literally won't make a difference. But you know, to each their own, and that's how it goes. Blockbuster! My friend, what is a crack-a-lacking with you? The day is going grand with me. I am back from some escapades with a family member, enjoying life, enjoying the crack, enjoying the bank holiday festivities. Unfortunately, it has meant that this will be a smaller stream than we'd end up expecting it to be, but we'll enjoy the crack while we're at it and do the best that we can. How are you today, my friend? Have you gotten up to much? Has your day been well? Is all going good? As we go into this game now in the Champions League. Guess what sandwich I'm having? You're having a steak and kidney pie sandwich. Is that what you're having, Skull? Let me know. Pretty good. Thanks. Did a stream earlier and I fixed the stream problems with it being bad quality. Well, congratulations for that. That's all you can end up trying to do is to improve. I hope that the same can be said for mine. I have tried a couple of things to see whether or not they are working. Maybe it is finally working now. On Twitch. Is it working now? Is it working now? Is it working now? No, it's still not working. That command just seems to not want to work for me. Works for everyone else, but it just does not want to work for me. Happy out. How did you find playing Rise of Kingdoms? I'm guessing you went for the sponsorship on Rise of Kingdoms, did you? It's not too bad. You can go for it if you want to. I just have no interest in it. It's not a game I've ever played. It wouldn't be my cup of tea. Most of the ones that they end up having there that I'd be interested in doing are games that I already have the initial account set up for, and as a result, I can't end up doing. Like, I'd end up playing Honkai Star Rail, and I'd end up playing, like, some of them. And in fact, I might in the near future, end up doing Weathering Waves, because I want to get back into it after watching some of the stuff that ended up coming out in 2.4. I haven't played that game in years. Since it came out, actually. I played it for about a month when it came out. That was about it. So I might go back and I might play a wee bit of that. But time will tell what the crack ends up doing. Yeah, so I wouldn't mind. I ended up putting it in as the custom command and the whole lot, so it should end up working, but it's still not working, the watch time. Maybe I need to just get rid of this. If I get rid of this, will it work? If I get rid of that, will it work? Or will it just butcher itself? No. Still butchers itself. Okay, so I'm getting rid of that for the time being, and we'll figure out something later on. Anyway, that's Future Crack's problem. For now, we're just focusing on this game now, a game that we have to end up getting a good win with because they're not a particularly good team, so we need to give ourselves a good bit of fire and a good bit into it. The team is performing quite well, a couple of youngsters in it here, wee bit lighter down. The loss of Marco is interesting for us, but we end up seeing, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a salt and vinegar crisp sandwich. I'm guessing you've gone with the traditional Tato sandwich, is it? Or have you gone for McCoy's or Walker's or a different variant? I guess it just depends on what crisp you went for. Maybe you're an oddity and put Pringles into your crisp. It is a potential option to go with Pringles. I've seen some people do it, the weird fools that they are. Imagine having a Pringles. You've actually gone for Pringles. I don't believe you. Unless you put an image of that into attacking the food in the Discord, I don't believe you. Unless I have video proof, I don't believe that you've gone with Pringles. And that is beyond weird. That's like putting pineapple on pizza. Or even worse, like putting chocolate on pizza. Oh, penalty. Cool. We should do well now here on this penalty. You useless sack of crap. Edmund Adams, you useless sack of crap. How did you miss a penalty? Genuinely, that's shocking. And they score. Holy crap. That's a 1-2 kick in the fucking schnoz. Holy crap. Horrible by the goalkeeping, horrible defending, horrible to miss it. That is atrocious. You are a weird individual, Senior Skull. A weird individual. Thank you so much, Senior Ducky Poo. How are things? Didn't save either. Okay, this was meant to change. It didn't save. Give me 1 second. I want to try that again because this was meant to be fixed with something. So bear with us now 1 second. Don't know if this will work. I very much doubt this will work, but we'll try it. Yeah, I didn't think it would work. I mean, user counter. It worked some way. So, Maybe that means then we can get rid of that and that. That. Maybe now it'll work. No, that breaks it completely. Do that. Then that should be there. Try it one more time. No. Okay, so it's broken for now, but we'll continue to work on that and see if we can get it working for the next time. But, you know, whatever. Anyway, Senior Duck, what's a crack-a-lackin' with you, my friend? Is the day treating you well? Is it all going good? Have you been up to much today, my friend? The joys of technical difficulties the minute you end up starting off to see if things you can get it worked. Crack, in my playing days, I was a striker and want to find a stat from it all. Fair enough. How are you finding that? Also, Edmund, get the fuck off the pitch. We have to change some of these now. Do that. Do that. We'll go with those two changes for now and hope that it ends up making us come back into this because we need to. And let's see how we end up doing. But yeah, how is everyone's day going? Have you gotten up to anything exciting on this day where you were still off? Skull, I love you because you end up getting some of the best clips in the world. I appreciate it beyond belief. Thank you so much, my friend. I took 4 pens and want to know what happened to every pen. What do you mean, what happened in every pen? Crack, in my playing days, I was a striker and want to find out a stat from it all. Does that mean whether or not you got them or you missed them, or I'm not 100% sure what you're trying to say there, Skull? Oh, we have to start getting into this game. Holy crap, guys. Hopefully that counts because we need to get into this. Because we're locking behind a wee bit too much. No. God damn it. I mean, we should, within the time period that we have left, be able to end up getting something out of this. But the performance that we're giving in at the moment is not near good enough. Marshall, no. Enric, out a wee bit too far for a striker, but you do what you can with them. Enric! I say that and then he scores. I say that and then he scores. Way to make me look like a fool, and happily out too. I'm happy to be a fool when it comes down to this type of situation. Well on him. I took 4 pens and know what happened every single one. The same thing happened for all 4 pens. I got the crossbar 4 times and could score it from play pretty easy. Interesting. Interesting. That means you're never taking a penalty again for me, I think. I never missed a pen when I played, and I was the penalty taker. Well, congratulations to you. It's not easy. It does end up taking a lot out of you to end up doing it. But I was never. I played the best position on the pitch, so I did. I played as the bench warmer. You know, the most important position on the bench, making sure on the pitch, making sure that the bench was warm. You know. I'm good, thanks. How about you? Just done pre-season, haven't grinded at all evening. Happy out to hear. What type of extravagance did you end up doing in your pre-season, my friend? Anything exciting? Come on, crikey. Anyway, never mind. Yeah. I found I placed the penalties more than power. I mean, that is the thing. If you're just able to get the right corner... Oh, for fuck's sake, Loffy. Just a straight red card. I mean, we're 2-0 up. I missed the goal. But, like, holy crap, Loffy. Can't be performing like that. You can't be having reckless tackles like that. I've almost sacked people for less. Like I've literally almost turned around and sold players for less dangerous tackles than that. What the hell were you considering, you fool? I had to redo a month after clicking on Job Center by mistake at 3 a.m. and the game froze. Ooh. Ooh. The joys of that. By the way, Blockbuster, when you were taking your penalties, did you have a favourite penalty that you done? Right corner, left corner, top left, bottom right? Where was your favourite corner that you ended up taking? I tried being cocky and put in roof neat, but never worked. Want to know the worst penalty I could miss, though? What would it be for you, Skull? I won the tier 11th on the final day with Exeter Uni, with most goals scored and most conceded in the league. What was your record? So, what was your conversion rate? Goals to concessions. Let us know. Let us know. How did it end up coming out for you? Let us know how everything ended up going for you. How the numbers ended up relaying for you. I had to set up a bunch of friendlies for my tier 20 stream save because it's not the most entertaining to have a game every 2 weeks, but it was pretty boring for me. Just do what you find fun, my friend. If you need to do friendlies, you need to do friendlies. Otherwise, the best option is just holiday in between them, I suppose. A cup final and went to penalty shootout. My pen cost it. Unfortunate, that. Duck, you're an arse. You're an absolute arse. What a horrible thing to say to someone. I missed a penalty in the final, in the most important time that I could have missed it. I'll retire and go to coaching. For penalties, I decide where I was going before I took it and just mainly went for the corners. I mean, I suppose that if that works for you, that's the way to end up going for it. That's not always the best option to end up going for, but if it works for you, it works for you. I love how their one shot on target is their one goal. And we'll probably perform better now without the one person as well, which is typical for us. 30 games. Let me guess. The goal difference was 108 goals scored and 60 goals conceded. What a hit. Crossbar hit by Foston and then a horrible header to attempt to go into it. That's atrocious. Ignacio scored an own goal. Interesting. Galatasaray blowing Bayern Munich out of the water. Barcelona losing to Lazio. Quite a surprising state of affairs there. A couple of big teams getting a couple of odd losses. Like Arsenal doing well. PSG with the draw. Wow. We're going to get out of this with the 2-1 win, with a quite unfortunate situation of a red card. Thankfully, it's only Loffy, which isn't that big of a deal. He's turned out to be a massive disappointment from when we signed him. His potential was growing quite extensively when we were signing him, but it seems to have slowed down a bit, which is kind of unfortunate. But you do what you can and you play with what you have. This game isn't done yet. They could have scored there, and that would have been horrible if it ended up ending up as a draw in that particular case. But what can you end up doing with it? 30 games played, 83 goals scored, 67 let in, a conversion difference of only 13 goals. That is atrocious for one of your teams, Duck. You need to do better with them. Your teams have a better rate than this now. You need to sack that goalkeeper and get someone that can actually move. But we'll see what ends up happening. Happy out, Skull. If it works out for you, it works out for you. All you needed to do was ask and find out. And the best bit, 20 red cards and 186 yellow cards in the league alone. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. How you're playing a tier 11 side, right, Duck? I'm correct in saying that. You're playing a tier 11 side, right? If you're playing a tier 11 side and you had that many yellow cards and that many red cards, how is the club still afloat with the amount of fines you ended up getting? Because surely you were fined to mighty hell in terms of that, because it seems like a situation where you would be. Because how would you not be fined to all heavens with that extreme of a card system? Like, you had to have been getting 15,000 euro fines consistently. And, like, that would end up tanking you, right? Or am I just being a bit of a fool, not knowing? Because it has to be that case. There's no way that it wouldn't be. Because it's a bit bonkers, that, isn't it? Yes, went down to 9 men in 2 games and 8 in 1. Don't think you get fines that far down as a synedicated database. Well, you're bloody lucky. You're bloody lucky, because if you did end up getting fines down there, you'd be screwed 10 ways to Sunday, my friend. You're absolutely blessed that you don't. He knows the FA guy buys some beers every game. I mean, that's the only way you get away with it, I suppose. I mean, we had an okay performance in that game. I'm not happy with the Laffy send-off. Like, look at this tackle again. Grease ends up sending the ball out. Lars ends up doing the save. Rosenberg there, and Laffy goes for a career killer. That's a career killer right there. Look at it again. Yeah, that's a career killer right there. That's damn near a scissors kick. Like, that is a bonkers tackle. Like, that's the worst tackle I've seen a player do in all of the seasons that I played this game. That is astonishingly bad done there by Laffy. That is an astonishing display of ineptitude and what's the word I'm looking for? And danger, to be honest. Like, that's atrocious. But with that being said, a win is a win is a win. You and you. We go like that because you have to. What the hell? Like, I kind of wish I could just end up walking away. Holy crap. I mean, I don't know, Blockbuster. It's a fairly meaty, horrible attack to end up going down through for Laffy there. For the Barcelona game that we have in the Champions League. I mean, thankfully, he's a grower, not a shower. So we need to hope that he ends up getting better in the near future and actually ends up improving. And there's not really much you can do until that ends up happening. So, you know, you try with what you have there and go what comes. But it is a horrible, horrible showcase for Laffy, to be honest. And, like, a bit shocking, now, to be honest. We'll be semi-pro next season, so that'll be fun. What does that end up entailing for you, Duck, when you end up going to the semi-pro variant? Is that when you're actually allowed to sign people properly, give them proper contracts and the whole lot? Or how does that end up working for you there? Because I'm not 100% sure. As I said, I've never gone down that low. I don't know the procedures in which it ends up working. So how does that end up working for you now? What did you see? Ooh. I found our new goalkeeper. We're nicking that goalkeeper off, you poor bastards. He shouldn't have performed so good. That goalkeeper shouldn't have performed so good. You literally just sold him to me. Yeah. Yeah, literally you shouldn't have let him play. You shouldn't have let him play. I know it is one of the things in this game that's technically cheating, that you can end up doing deals like this before the transfer window. But screw it. Future prospect, though. So, I mean, they're playing him against me. So, is their actual goalkeeper injured? Or... Also, yeah, no, this Denmark Champions League. Yeah, we say no to them because their actual league isn't in place. So we say no to that back because he won't get any games. But yeah, no, unfortunate that. Fined 200k for what? In your case or my case, Blockbuster, I've gotten a bit mixed on what's being stated there on the fined bit. So can you expand a bit on that one? More training than amateur. On FM20 is no fines for amount of caution per game in England anyway. That's an interesting situation, to be honest. I mean, I don't blame Seller for being annoyed, but he's going to end up getting some games now as we come into these next few games there. We were given a couple of youths a chance to end up showcasing. We ignore him for now and just start playing him and hope that the new playment of him will end up improving things, that things will continue on, that we'll end up performing good there. Our under-18s and our under-21s are crap because most of them have been sent out on loan. I don't care about someone being sacked in the division, and we continue on. The only people we care about are Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. We get through these games now. Bilbao should be sound, and we see how things go. You were saying, what does that entail for Duck? And I said, fine, 20, that's what. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he'll have to change his formation eventually. But another question for you there, Duck, as well. In the formation that you've been playing there, how many leagues have you gone up consistently? Like, are you consistently rising up the ranks, or has it been you're going year by year, see how it ends up going? You've spent a couple of years in one league as opposed to the next, and it's not constant. You're not doing a Wrexham and constant progression of up and up and up and up and up. How has it worked for you? Also, by the way, I hate this question so much because it's asking you, who do you think is going to win the league? Who do you think is going to win the league? Like, you have to say yourself when you're in the top position of the league. You can't say anything but yourself. Like, it's a joke of a question because you literally can't say anything else. Also, advertisements are coming on now, so we'll just stall for the rest of the questions of this press conference, and we'll continue on after the advertisements. But so far, interesting. The game has gone semi-okay for us. We've done grand, and we'll continue on now, see how things end up progressing past this now, once the advertisements on Twitch ended up finishing. How do I get to the tools on TikTok? It says I have a flare. How do I check? Okay, I don't know. Fine, if it's going to be a pain in the arse, I don't know. Oh, the joys. The joys of trying to be interactive and cool. So the advertisements are now finished, so we can continue on forthwith and continue within this particular press conference area now. So why have I picked my own team? Because I'm not an idiot, and I simply think we have what it takes to win the title. And then we're going on now, and we're going to end up going into this game with probably as strong of a team as we can end up playing, because we have a good bit of a gap between Atletico Pamplona and, of course, the wonderful Barcelona. Darren Hawkesbury is the opposite manager in my first game of the season. I don't know that guy. Is he any good? Is that someone that you've gone up with against before? Is that an adversary of yours? Is that a rival from which is always somewhat strong against you? Anyways, we should win this game. We're expected to win this game, and we will win this game. It's wrong to go into any competition without the feeling that you are going to end up winning. So we're going to go into this game with the feeling that we are going to end up winning. Play aggressive, expansive, attacking football, even though our goalkeeper isn't back yet. And do the best that we can to win with the dominating fashion that we can. So, as we go in, cross your hands for us there, guys, and let's hope that we do well. We have a couple of strong offensive formations against us, but in general, we should be grand. We'll put Adama there, but Diadama won't be playing. We'll put him on the bench. Enric will be our starting striker. Adams can be off the pitch entirely after that horrendous display he gave us the last time. So who do we swap Adams for? I mean, he's not going to get on the pitch, but it is someone there just in case. We'll swap Adams with Evra, and Evra will end up being down there. And we'll plonk Jude Bellingham onto the top there and see what ends up happening there. Benny, my friend, thank you so much for banning him there. I didn't even realize you were in the chat. It is appreciated to end up having you. You are a god and a mastodon of incredible wiseness. Also the Lord of the Assets. How are you, my good friend? Is your day treating you grand? Were you working on this Monday? Because I don't know if it is a holiday of any distinction over there in the land of the Americanos. How is life over there anyway, my friend? As a player, he was a forward who notably played in the Premier League for Newcastle United, Coventry City, Leeds United, Manchester City, and Norwich City. He also featured for Lincoln City, Millwall, and Nottingham Forest. He finished his career playing in the United States in the MLS for San Jose's Earthquakes. He was capped once at English B level. I'm surprised he played for Miles Lewis Skelly now. That's an impressive stat to end up having to play for Miles Lewis Skelly. I must admit. But it's fair enough that you're going up against him. Hopefully you have a good chance at beating him. A holiday last Monday, so we have to go at least 6 weeks before another one. I understand that too. It's unfortunate that it sometimes ends up working that way, but I understand why they end up doing it. So that's a bit of fun for you now in the next wee bit to look forward to that holiday coming true. Eduardo's not back yet, so we're not going to play Eduardo, but Laffy is not playing either. So we'll take Laffy off, and do we have someone that we can place Laffy with who's at least somewhat sound? Ronald would be the one, but he's injured. Pablo is injured. Fernando is no good. 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 Okay, in that case, we'll just throw you here. And even though I know it doesn't do anything, I just outright refuse to give them the time of day at the moment due to the performances they gave the last time. Laffy and Eduardo, or Edmund, both need to be punished for the dreadful performance they gave in that Champions League match. So we end up doing it now. Independence Day.
Oh,
not too bad. Independence
Let me
Day,
play
the
a sad
day
song
that,
for you on the world's smallest violin.
That the White House was blown up. It's still fascinating that we're able to recreate it in such a fast amount of time. I think I've lost your angriness there, Duck. Unlucky FS and then unlucky to Benekage. I'm guessing you mean about the length of time between holidays. God, I love Clancy Brown. Clancy Brown is an awesome, awesome voice actor. Anyway, it's time to go in to the second matchup of the day. It's time to go in now and perform against Atletico Pamplona and end up giving a performance that's worth it for us. Let's see. God, you cracked me on that one, Duck. I'm guessing that's the reason why you spend so much time in my chat. It's just to maintain some level of connection to the insanity of a workplace. Not that I'll ever complain. I love having you here, my friend. You are a good bit of crack. Of course, end up following me on any of the other services if you want to as well, whenever you want to. Ooh, my player is playing for them, I think. Amar. I think Amar is my player. We'll check that in a minute. Unless there's another Amar, I think that's my player that we've sent out on loan to him. Okay. So they're playing in an okay formation here. No, it is. It's a completely different player. Interesting. Okay, so there's two Amars in here at the moment. Not that that's that surprising, but still. Interesting. We know what's happening here then. Go on, expand, Duck. What's happening here? You need to explain to me. Oh, if he was my player, you thought he was going to score on us. Yeah. Yeah. I have had it maybe it's different in England, but or in Spain, but I have had my loaned players play against me in league games, you know? So it's funny. Anyway, let's see how we perform. We have a really strong team here, so we should perform good here. Vinny, straight down. What the hell was that, Vinny? God damn it, Vinny. God damn it, man. Liebe there. Morgan to Enric and... Oh. Enric is an unreal striker. I mean, it's not funny how clinical Enric is. Like, think about that in real life. That is a bonking out, to be honest, horrible defensive play by that goalkeeper. But that is an incredible goal. The angle for which it goes to, the tightness from which you're pulled into, how close it is to offside and yet still going about it, crossing it down between the defender into the goal. It is a fantastic goal. In my opinion, anyway. It is a brilliant showcase of what can be done when they end up doing it right. Oh, that's a bad loss there by Ugarte. He should be doing a lot better than that now. But we still have most control at the moment of all of this situation, so we'll continue with it and see how it goes. Morgan now that should have been a goal by Morgan. That's not good enough now. That should have been a goal by Morgan. But Bellingham now going for the corner straight down there. Our horrible display there when it comes down to set pieces being showcased. Although, good bit of defensive work by their goalkeeper. It's going to be one of those showcases where this team, could end up losing 3-4 goals, but the goalkeeper's going to end up having a good performance. So you can't blame that on the goalkeeper. I mean, some might, but like that's bad defensive passing by them, losing the ball here to Bilbao. Bilbao sending it back, and Enric just nicking it off of Lopez. A bad showcase there by their team. Funny to have a player that's named the same thing as another team in the league. It is an interesting little showcase there, to be honest. But we're going to continue on now, see how we do. What? Oh my god, Gay. What a bloody move there by Gay. We're not even 10 minutes into this game, by the way. And Enric has already scored a hat-trick. Like, what a touch by Gay. Bellingham runs down absolutely brilliantly. And then passes in for a hat-trick 10 minutes in for the one and only Enric. I refuse to touch OOTP until tomorrow, by the way. Not after playing through the World Series last night. You'll need to give more information on that, Benny. I unfortunately ended up missing your stream last night due to the time differences and the whole lot. But let me know why. Oh, okay, fair enough. Offline save, not too bad, not too bad. And is it just because it was a brilliant showcase of baseball that got your blood pumping on the whole lot? You're doing well in the World Series, or why is it that you're not going to continue to play it now? It was insanely close. Well, isn't that the type of games you love to have? Gives you the good intensity, gives you the good feelings, gives you the good vibes, and everything about it. But yeah, I'm guessing tomorrow's one is the streaming version, is it? I love those type of games, because it ends up giving you a bit more to them. I had some. Oh, I love the Magic the Gathering reference. Fair play to you. Not too bad. It's a game I actually need to get into at some point in time, even though I don't want to spend the money on it. Wow, I'm happy for Gabe, but oh my god, that is not a good goal to concede for them. Like, that's practically giving up the goal. Like, oh, it bounced off of the defender as well. Okay, well, that's a bit more wrongness to it now, to be honest. Ooh. Are they going to get one? No. Oh, I was meant to take Grease off. Grease was meant to be replaced with Aaron, so this is a mistake too. So Grease is happy that he's getting more time than he's meant to. We're only 30 minutes in and we're 4-0 up. This is a showcase of absolute dominance by us. And don't you love to see it? So, what's the next MLS game that you're going to go and see, Benny? Is there any good season definer games coming up in the next wee bit? Because I haven't been paying attention to any of it, so I don't know if there are any good games coming up or anything like that. What did everyone end up thinking of the Champions League final after they ended up watching it? That is a horrible goal. Holy crap. What were you doing? Got to. Worse on Greece. Greece should have had coverage on that one. But at the same point in time, what a horrible goal to let in. Gay with a nice interception. Burke. I'm not surprised PSG ended up destroying Inter in it. I'm slightly disappointed it wasn't more of a competition because I wanted it to be. I am happy with the result. I wanted PSG to end up winning just out of pure spite to Mbappe. But at the same point in time, like, you know, an unfortunate situation that. We are giving up too many fouls. We're not performing particularly good. Now, we had them contained and narrowed down for the first 35 minutes of this game. And then we started giving it back to them. Yeah. 25 minutes there at the half-time point. We started giving them back some momentum into the game. And that's not the type of stuff you like to see. Like, we're still dominating, but we've narrowed down. We're not performing as good as we were. So Ugarte comes off anyway. And we'll put Warren Emery on instead. Junior Vinicius probably should come off because we're performing good enough. And he's a yellow card and he's tired-ish. And I think we'll take Burke off because there's no point risking the card. So we'll put Hines on instead. So we'll put on Hines means Beans instead and continue on with those 3 substitutions. And that should be good for us now. We'll continue on there with that being the case. Thank you so much. I do. So I'm not 100% sure now how to pronounce that name, so I'll just call you Ruth on Kick. I stream pretty much every day between sometimes it's between 8:30 Irish time and 9:30 Irish time till about sometime between 11 and 12, so 2 to 3 hours in between then. But yeah, join anytime you want to, and happy out. It's a pleasure to end up having you. Come follow, come enjoy, keep speaking the crack. How is your day treating you? Where are you from yourself? Is there any news with you? It's a pleasure to have you in. Let us know a wee bit about you. There are times when I'm off. The best way to end up knowing when I'm streaming is to join the Discord and just end up seeing when I'm streaming. So if you want to, you can join the Discord there, and that's how you end up finding out the absolute best times that I'm streaming. But yeah, so in considering are you streaming to? Oh God, another horrible goal for them to let in. I love that that Adama is after getting a nice assist, probably undeserving, but he had 3 people around him with an okay pass. But Stefan Morgan with a good old shot there, ricocheted off of the defenders again. That's 2 goals their defenders have let ricochet in. Anyway, Benakage, are you streaming today yourself? Or are you taking the day off? And if one or the other, what are you playing this evening? Taking the day off, or you're streaming 100%, I'm sure. So what is it that you're streaming today? Is it another day of action, or are you gone into something else? Not too bad. That'll be a bit of crack for you there. Just make sure you don't pay too much for the demo now. Oh, bad jokes. So you're gonna have fun with the assets in that case, I'm sure. I was talking with someone about this earlier on, and they were having an argument with me when it came down to... And they were having an argument with me when it came down to games. And their opinion was that no one should ever pre-order a game that's digital. They should never... That wasn't crack. That was crack as in ass crack level. I mean, probably. But I'm an equal opportunity bad joke expert. My stand-up is so stand-up that it makes the... No, I'm not finishing that joke. God damn it. Greece, you went in an entirely wrong direction. Look at this goal. Navarro over to here. Yeah, and it was bound to happen to us. They end up ricocheting it off of Hines. And arguably, that should be an own goal. But yeah, no one should ever pre-order a game that's digital. Their viewpoint on it was you can't run out of digital keys. And if you do run out of digital keys, it's literally artificial scarcity. So as a result of which, you should never need to pre-order or should never pre-order a digital game as a result of that, because you don't get anything in advantage. And in most cases, the pre-order is literally just a streamer tax. You know, you'll end up giving an extra edition that ends up having 2 or 3 days beforehand or something like that. Like, I kind of agree with them, because there isn't really a need to pre-order for them. You're as well wait for the reviews. Now, in Stellar Blade's case, it's a game that's already been out. You know what it is. You know the qualities that the game already has. It's a different kettle of fish for this particular game. But in general, I do kind of agree that you should never pre-order a game that you haven't at least seen the game and wait for a wee bit of a review, because then you get caught spending 80 quid on a game that's absolute bug-riddled crap. And then that's just a way for the company to know that they're right. And I don't think that's right, you know? Yeah. I mean, it's fine, but that's just what I'm saying there. I understand why people are saying it. It gives too much of a reason for the companies to release bad games. And, yeah. So, like, in Stellar Blade's case, you know the game is good. Like, if a Ratchet & Clank game came out now from Insomnia, and I wanted it, which I don't do this anymore because they cost too much, but, you know, if you're taking the perspective of you want the game, its marketing ended up intriguing you enough, I know that studio will bang in the game, because all of the games they've done beforehand are good games. You know, so I know that I can trust them to end up doing it. Like, if Marvel's Spider-Man game ended up coming out now, and I really, really badly wanted it, I could end up pre-ordering. I'm not going to anyway, because I very rarely spend 60 quid on games. In fact, the last game I spent that was above 40 quid was Clair Obscure Expedition 33. And to be honest, that was more for the story of the studio than the game itself. But that's my viewpoint when it ends up coming down to it, you know? But what's bad about it on PC? Because I haven't heard anything bad about the performance of 2K25. I've just heard that it is a complete regurgitation to 2K24, with just slight little improvements to the likes of the GM mode and the My Faction mode to make it slightly less predatory. So, what is it that you know about it? So what features did they cut? Because I know they added in a couple of match types, and that there was a couple of little new additions to it, but it's basically an identical game. So I don't know. I haven't bought the game. I was thinking of buying the game. I was on stream here talking about potentially buying the game, because I am a massive... I don't know if you know this. I don't know if any of the people that follow me know this. I am a massive wrestling mark. I know you wouldn't think it by listening to me, but I'm a massive wrestling mark. And as a result of which, oh yeah, that. The My Island crap is annoying because that's literally just a PS exclusive. That's the reason I didn't buy the game, to be honest. Because that's not on the PC version. Maybe. I didn't hear anything about the Creation Suite being nuked. But the island I did end up knowing about, and that did bother me, to be honest. It is the reason I didn't buy the game, the fact that the island was down there. But to be honest, it just meant that you wouldn't need to buy... Duck, the fact that you remember that is atrocious. I mean, I did buy the editor, if that helps, but the fact that you remember that I didn't actually buy this game, I waited for it to go on sale, is funny as hell, to be honest. The changes this year to the creation where the PC is unable to download next-gen creations is a major deal breaker for me. It's certainly possible to make due to the CC available for PC, but with some of the best CC makers not having their creations on PC edition just kills. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I didn't know that. I just know that there are still some phenomenal CC creations out there in the whole lot, so... I don't know. I don't care at the end of the day. I'm not buying the game. I will see with 26 if they do a better job about it. I'm not supporting that game, so don't take anything I'm saying as wrong. It's just that's why I didn't buy the game. But I'm the same thing. Like, I don't buy those games. Like, I was a patron saint of buying WWE games as they came out. I'd always spend the max amount of money on it, get the DLCs and the whole lot, but I don't do it anymore. And although I'd love to do the wrestling content here, play it that way, it's the reason I didn't do it. But I think most games aren't worth it, to be honest. And it is a bit unfortunate. I don't mind it too much, to be honest. Because, like, it's the same way that I look at with gacha games. Like, people that spend money on gacha games, if you get the enjoyment out of it, it's worth it. You'll spend it on something else. Like, I'll go and I'll buy a coffee in a Starbucks. I might as well spend the £5 in a DLC, you know? So, it leaps and bounds, you know? It depends on situations, you know? So that's my viewpoint on it. I am a content creator on YouTube, and this year, no cross-platform community creations in 2K25. This is a very bad decision on behalf of the 2K team. Community creation is one of the best-selling positions. It destroyed the 2K team. I'm very disappointed by it. Yeah, I suppose. I'd remember more that I'd let on if it interests me after all. Well, I'm glad that I interest you, Duck. Slightly worried that you take such an interest in me, but I'm glad that I interest you, my friend. Jokes. Did you see there's now Witcher 3 PlayStation support mod? It only took 10 years. I didn't, to be honest. I know that someone was on that there was a video released there about the Stop Killing Games situation, and the person that was on about the situation mentioned that Mass Effect 3 still has its servers up, which I find awesome, to be honest, for the multiplayer of Mass Effect 3 if you wanted to play it. That to me is awesome. Anyways, I don't want to... I usually grab the DLCs when they're on mega sale. Yeah, or they end up doing a bundle that ends up giving it to you for easy is the way I end up doing it. But CC is big for me in WWE 2K. That's where all my enjoyment comes. I mean, fair enough. I would be skeptical on that. Again, I see some amazing CCs out there, so... But who knows? Like, again, we'll see. They'll fix it by the next one if enough people are whinging about it. That is one of the good things about the WWE team, the Ukes team. They do actually tend to listen to the community, so that helps a bit. Why spend your money and time on DLC when you can be with Craic and Benny and spend money on me if you want to? I mean, I'm worth the £5 that you'd end up spending on a DLC instead. You could end up sending it to me. That is a joke, by the way. That is a joke, by the way. Do it if you feel to, but I'm not asking you to. I mean, they've done it throughout the past, Benny. They listened fair enough. I mean, like, that's the reason why they brought back the GM mode and the whole lot. Like, they're not the best at listening, but in terms of listening, they listen more than most. You know, so like, obviously you're given leaps and bounds there. But yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with them. And like, it is a different team. It's a different team than the one that was on the 2K, that was back there before that. When the crap hit the fan and WWE 2K21 was cancelled, it was a completely different team that was in charge of it. Like, that's the reason why they ended up leaving WWE and made the AEW game, which is... No, it was 21 that was cancelled. It was either 21 or 22. Yeah, but it doesn't matter anyway. I feel like sports games got ruined when it became less about the experience and more about the money and maximizing profits. Blockbuster, allow me to change that statement. And just let me fix it a tiny bit. I feel like games got ruined when it became less about the experience and more about money and maximizing profits. That's a more accurate statement. Bellingham won the Ballon d'Or, by the way, which is interesting. It took a bit longer than that, but I do understand why you feel that way, Benny. It definitely didn't help. I'll tell you that. Oh no, the best era by far is the PS2. The amount of gems on the PS2 is astonishing. We don't even know half of them because half of them were shovelware shite. But like, it just was the best period of time. In my opinion, anyway. Oh God, no. Oh God, no! We need to bring you. We need to teach you some etiquette. Holy crap! The 360 being the best console ever made. Holy crap, man! We need to teach you. We need to teach you. Holy crap! I don't agree with that statement at all. At all, I don't agree with that statement at all, that the 360 is the best one. Well, the 360 started DLC, so... But I don't know. To each their own. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Whatever you enjoyed, you enjoyed. I just personally feel that it's the... I personally feel that it's the PS2. And it just, the amount of games, the amount of absolute gems in the PS2 is astonishing. That an awful lot of people don't know about, that just went under the bloody hill. And back when games actually tried to be fun. I was on PS3 playing FIFA when it had Player Manager and playing Star Force Unleashed. Horse armor. I'm actually a bit shocked. Genuinely, I'm actually a bit shocked they didn't do a joke about that in the remaster. Oh yeah, but like Generation 6 of gaming was astonishing. The sixth generation of gaming was a special generation. You had the Game Boy Advance, you had the PS2, you had the Xbox, you had the Nintendo. Nintendo had two consoles on that. I think the 64 and the GameCube were in Generation 6. I think. I could be wrong on that. Like, you had a perfect wave of game development in Generation 6. Like, that generation of gaming, I think, is just the best generation that ended up coming down. The most amount of initiative, of creation, of advancement. That's my opinion, anyway, if I'm honest. I never did. I heard about it, but I never played Backyard Baseball. Now, it's a game I'd love to play. Like, one of the games I plan at some point in time, once I get the system set up to stream it properly, is I plan to stream Tony Hawk's Underground. Because Tony Hawk's Underground, in my opinion, is an astonishingly good game. As opposed to the second one, which is we ended up snuffing weed for about a month and decided we're going to end up releasing this sequel to the game. Having burnt songs on consoles playing in the background was mind-blowing to me. I mean, yeah. The back then when it didn't cost an arm and a leg to license out a song for a game. Like, you'd end up hearing brilliant songs in the games there and they weren't completely screwed. A video game I was on about was Bros in the Backyard. There was a backyard wrestling game on the PS2 as well that was meant to be an incredible bit of fun. I didn't play it now myself, but it was meant to have been gas cracked from those that I know that did play it. Like, there's just loads of classics that people don't know about in on the PS2 and on that generation of consoles. It's just great to end up seeing it as well. And hopefully now with the AAA or quadruple A, depending on who you talk to, industry kind of cleaving on its own feet, hopefully the like double A and A independent studios will start actually like going back into creative excellence and trying to create stuff that people will enjoy and going down that route. Because there are a multitude of brilliant ideas out there and a multitude of brilliant creatives out there that just need the chance, just need the hope, just need the goal to end up going out there, and hopefully will eventually end up getting what they end up needing. And that's what I end up hoping to see. To see an eventual time where all of them end up getting their chances seen, and we just end up getting beautiful crap like Expedition 33 and like a Rocket League or something like that. You know, interesting ideas that no one would think about. I think one of the best things 2K could add to the game is custom music through Spotify, because FIFA has done it, why can't? So the reason why, and they've said this before, and I don't know why FIFA is able to get away with it, by the way, but the 2K have said before the reason why they're not allowed to do that is because they attempted to put it in once, and the legal from 2K itself, so, you know, Take-Two Interactive, turned around and said there's far too much of a chance we'll get sued by the publishers of the music if the music gets used in an online environment. So they know that people end up doing seasons and showcases and all that on the actual game itself. And as a result of which, they have stated that that will cause copyright issues that will eventually lead to them getting sued. And that's the reason why they don't want that to end up happening. Like, they don't want you to end up putting in the custom music. Because they have their own custom music thing where you could upload your music to the game, and that would end up happening. Now, the big issue would be where if you had a Spotify song tied to a player, tied to a custom character who you sent up onto the community board, and then it was tied to that player, downloaded down, and that's the way that they're doing it. So one of the reasons for that is WWE would have to pay the old creators of the music in order to do it. So the reason why Jim Johnson isn't used anymore in the games, or the reason why the crew in between Def Rebel aren't used anymore is because they'd have to pay Jim Johnson and Def Rebel and all that. And Def Rebel are soon going to be leaving WWE because their contract isn't being taken up again. So everyone is going to have to change their team songs in WWE soon, otherwise they'll pay a premium on X song that's being used. So like some of them, like Kevin Owens is still using his original song there. They're paying above and the odds in order to keep him to have that song. Like, the only reason Punk is able to use Cult of Personality is because the artists of Cult of Personality are sound as a bell. The only reason the Judgment Day were allowed to use Other Side is because Edge was there, and Alter Bridge have a fantastic relationship with Edge. Well, of course they do, because Edge basically made their career. You know, so it works that type of a way. There are some people that end up getting away with it. Now, Triple H is a good relationship with a multitude of the craic, get your words together. With a multitude of the musicians that are out there, which is the reason why some of them are going to be used. But that's the reason why they haven't used the likes of Travis Scott or something like that and thrown them into the weave in order to potentially end up getting X, Y, and Z to work down there. It's just because it costs too much money on them, unfortunately. Really, really unfortunately. And trust me, it is unfortunate, because I agree. I think Def Rebel are atrocious, and I think they need to end up going down and improving on it, and hopefully end up organizing better deals to allow the use of music and old music and new music and blah 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 blah. But you know anyway, we'll see what ends up happening with them. Hopefully it ends up turning out good. I feel like wrestlers need lyrics, or at least a good beat, so that it's recognizable. Half the time in the Rumble, you don't know who's... I mean, there's just a problem with that in general, that an awful lot of them just have generic songs. You don't need lyrics in their songs, because you know Roman Reigns the minute he comes out. You know The Rock well before the Is Cooking ends up hitting. Like, you don't need it. You don't need to end up having lyrics in the song. It helps in certain cases, but you don't need it. Like, I hate to bring it up, but like, one of the most recognizable songs of all time because of the initial beat of it, and a song that I am really happy that the group have started using again, but Our Ladies of Peace, Whatever, is so recognizable. The minute it comes on, you know exactly who it is, you know? That's the most I'm going to say about that particular song, because I don't want to say the name of the person who it belongs to, even though I don't mind talking about him, because I still watch some of his matches now, but, you know, still no point mentioning him. It's more that you need to have something that fits them. Like Rhea Ripley's song really, really, really fits her. It really fits her, and it helps as a result of that, you know? And it doesn't need lyrics. All it needs is "This is my brutality," and then "Bob's your uncle happy." You're done. You're dusted. Everything is sound, you know. So we'll see what ends up happening. Like Seth Rollins only has "Burn It Down" in his, and it ends up working. Now, should he be using that team song as a heel? No, but that's an entirely different kettle of worms. A team song matters an insane amount, the same way as a tire matters an incredible amount. I've whinged about this for yonks. Every pay-per-view where I end up watching it and ended up giving my opinions on X, which if you want to, whenever a WWE pay-per-view is on and I'm actually able to stay up for it, sometimes I do it for the shows as well. I will watch the shows and end up streaming my ideas of what is going on. Like, I won't be doing Raw tonight because I have work in the morning and it's I have a couple of important meetings, so I can't actually stay up to watch it, but normally I'd stay up, watch it, and give my opinions. You'll see that I always complain about attires because it's insanely important. Honestly, I don't think anyone gives a crap about the lyrics in Broken Dreams or Punk's song, and I don't actually think they care about it in Randy Orton's either. I just think they like the beat in it. It's only a recent thing that people have started singing Randy Orton's song. I don't think it matters. It's just if it's a good beat and it works well with it. But I understand why you might think it is and why it ends up working that way. I just personally don't agree. I'm not going to argue with you. Maybe it's true, but it's not. I don't agree, personally. Because Cult of Personality works almost exclusively for the glass breaking. You know, most people don't actually care about the lyrics of Cult of Personality. In fact, I'd say most WWE fans don't even know the words of it. It's the same thing with Other Side. Most people didn't know the lyrics of Other Side, but it worked phenomenally well for that character and that feel, you know? Because there are times when they have lyrics there and it doesn't mean anything. Like, example, The New Day. Tell me a single lyric of The New Day song. Like, doesn't matter. Like, you know, there's waves and balances around it. Like, one of my favorite songs of all time. Now, I know people like Lemons and Limes for... And by the way, I know that's not the name of the song, but you get my point. I know people like Lemons and Limes for Sheamus, but I love Hellfire for Sheamus. The old... We the People, the Jack Swagger song, the da 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 da. Like, it just has to have a good beat to it and work really well. Like bloody Jacob Fatu's song, other than the start and chant, which nobody knows because we're not Samoan. It's a phenomenal song. How have we not scored yet? Holy crap! On this, yeah, like Metalingus is just special. Metalingus is just a special song. Yeah, we the people. Honestly, an underrated gimmick, We the People. A severely underrated gimmick. That's a showcase of why Cesaro was never going to be a thing. I love Cesaro so much as a wrestler, as a full package, but the man has void of charisma. 1740, the Maurice de la Salle, the French nobleman known for his erotic and perverse... What? Okay, what the hell is that meant to be for, Duck? And I'm half tempted to ask you to put it in as a TTS so I can know what the hell, how to pronounce half of it. What the hell is that? What is it? That's hilarious, to be honest. Are we getting a penalty again? Is that the lyrics translated into French? Why isn't... Okay. Ooh, the goalkeeper went the right way. Well on you, Ard. Well on you, Ard. First game back and you end up scoring your penalty. I mean, fair enough. Happy out that ended up working out for you. TLDR, WWE songs need to be more recognizable. Yes, pretty much. A goal by Enric. Genuinely, what a goal by Enric. Unbelievable. We'll swap you at halftime. Continue to play it for now, Gay. Burke now, Burke now. Why did no one try and stop him? Holy crap. He had enough time there for an ice cream to melt. He had enough time there for Santa to deliver all of the presents to the kids. He had enough time there to end up making a creme brulee. Like, what the hell happened there? That's insane, the amount of time that Burke ended up having there. Would have been insane if he missed it, to be honest. I mean, yeah, but you'd never get it. It costs too much money. It'd cost you 100,000 quid every time you play it. So, like, you'd never get it. That's the major problem with it. You need to be careful that it doesn't end up going down to it. Like, in terms of WWE, in the games, I've always loved Gold Medalist, which is the one that Chris Danger ended up using. Bloody Robin prick. Chris Danger, for anyone that knows him. That's an old school reference there. WWE. He actually started wrestling since. I wonder if she's actually going to come back after that injury, because holy crap, that injury. A theme song I actually love, and it's a shame now that he's with Judgment Day that they don't use it anymore, is Dominic Mysterio's theme song. It actually has a good old beat to it and the whole lot. Anyway, let's make some subs. Boston for Gay. Jude will end up coming off for Lottie. We'll give him a go again. We'll take Ard off for Edmund. We'll take Eduardo off for Zerkri. And we'll take Libre off for Sechi. And yes, that's 5 subs, but screw, we'll just do all of them now. And hope that it ends up going well. I mean, Kurt Angle's song is legendary because they didn't plan to put the beat for You Suck. They genuinely didn't plan that. That just worked phenomenally well. Who's BDE? I don't know who BDE is. Yeah, Bobby Roode's Glorious song is fantastic. Even more when you realize it's a rehash of a song. Someone else in NXT was using it before Bobby Roode. They just didn't add the Glorious to it. It's a shame Bobby Roode got injured and then he never ended up coming back afterwards. But he's a producer now, so who gives a crap? Also, I think they'd be insane not to hire R-Truth as a producer. I know that they're not going to, but like, I think they'd be insane not to. Also, this is another situation of where I don't believe the grapevine. Supposedly, everyone is pissy now about their contracts and want to get out of their contracts just because R-Truth wasn't consistently signed. Oh, happy out. I'd love to start it, to be honest. I'd absolutely love to start wrestling. I'm not fit enough, and I'm 30 this year, and I'm too unfit to get fit enough fast enough to start it. I think. I'm trying to get fit enough to do it, but I'm too unfit to get fit enough to start it, I think, unfortunately. But who knows? Maybe I'll start doing the process and hope that I can end up getting it. Laffy, fair play to you. You come onto the pitch and you end up scoring a goal in the last minutes in order to end up proving yourself to be somewhat grand. I'll look him up afterwards. I wasn't aware of him. Oh, I do know him. Oh, he was massive on TikTok. Yeah. so Bellingham's not playing the next game. Which is unfortunate because the next game is against Barca, but screw it. Woo! Wow, that's a mighty whack of money to get a manager. I think that I have such a promising education, as I've been told, that I feel like I kind of have to go the route. Also, I don't think I could stay in shape, but maybe I've got better options like law. I mean, the thing about the shape is if you started doing it, you'd get into shape because you'd be at it so consistently that the shape would bring itself anyway. And like, my biggest problem isn't the actual working out. I'll do the working out to get fit enough. My biggest problem is the food. I'm trying to do the food and the whole lot, and it's just a nightmare with all of the other extras that ends up coming to it. But I need to start walking and running more, and I need to start doing more like that. Like, one of the reasons why this stream tonight isn't going particularly long is because I need to start setting up my 7 getting up at 6:30, 7 a.m. and doing my 10,000 steps then, you know? So we'll see what ends up happening. The highest manager transfer in football history is 21 million paid by Bayern Munich. Yeah, for Nagelsmann. And then the sack him within a year. The sack him within a year of spending all of that bloody money with a 70% win rate. Now, to be fair to Bayern Munich, Julian Nagelsmann had done the impossible and managed to piss off Neuer, something no one ever thought was possible, because how do you manage to piss off Manuel Neuer? It's dangerous to pick Neuer over a manager, but I genuinely think Julian Nagelsmann, whoever ends up getting him, is getting a manager beyond, like, an elite manager. Like, once he ends up leaving Germany after the World Cup, which I think is going to end up happening. I don't think he stays with them past the World Cup. I think he has to go and join someone. And at 37 years of age, he's astonishingly young. Honestly, and he was gone, but like, what can you do about it? Honestly, and this is the truth, if Ruben Amorim fails next year, Nagelsmann's who I go for. Because at that point in time, you're close enough that you could probably convince him to come. I know they play an entirely different style and the whole lot, and it's not probably the best thing to do, but it's what I would do, to be honest. He has to be the most promising young manager out there, other than Ruben, who was. Whether or not he still will be in about a year, we'll find out, because he has a lot to prove in this year, Ruben Amorim. But time will tell. Time will tell. Third highest is AVB back in 2011. Imagine, it's insane that it's that far back. I know they're still talking about bringing in a manager transfer window that managers can't change until the transfer window ends up coming around. I don't agree with that. I think the manager should be able to change whenever they want to. It's just weird that you end up doing all of the that you end up like. It's interesting for clubs to end up like uprooting absolutely everything and see how it ends up going. In the WWE, not sure how it is now, but it used to be that the women and men used to hook up quite often. Allow me to spoil something for you there, Blockbuster. It's still ridiculously the case, just now they're far more open about it. Sure, like, there's people on TikTok, they're spoiling the fact that they're with people. Like, they're humping each other like bloody rabbits. And why wouldn't you? Because you're on the road with them and they're the peak of athleticism and the whole lot, and you get to end up talking about the problems that you're going through. It's far easier to get with someone that's doing the same thing as you because they know your pain and you can vent with each other. Not that I would say. Not that I would know, but you know. Speaking of the 30 expensive managers, the list doesn't equate to talent level. Of course it doesn't. What a daft mentality. What would make you think that it did? Okay, what team do we go for here? Honestly, I think it's this. I think it's this, and we change and we go cautious. I think it's this team. And because it's Barcelona, what we'll do is we'll watch the entirety of this match, and once this match finishes, that'll be the end of the stream. But there's going to be an advertisement in between this. So just while the advertisement is going, I'm going to quickly have a toilet break. So I'll be back in a quick moment. Okay. I'm back anyway. We'll just wait for the advertisements to go, and then we'll start the match, and we'll see how things end up going there. I know remarkably little about Steve Bruce's time in management, but I hear that he was phenomenal, so it doesn't surprise me that Bruce is on that list twice. It kind of surprises me a bit that Roberto Martinez is. And how many times does Jose Mourinho appear on it, Doc? Or does Jose Mourinho appear on it? Because Jose Mourinho is one that should be on it if he isn't. And I'd be shocked if Antonio Conte wasn't either. Would Nuno Espirito Santo be on it? And I mean, if you're talking about payoffs as in paying people off in order to finish up, Ten Hag would have to be on it for the 14 million that he got to be fired. By the way, game. Why the fuck? Why the actual F is Jude Bellingham upset about being left out when he was told explicitly, you're going to be rested in the next goddamn game, and he said fine. Why is he upset? I can understand. Why is Jude upset? Oh, God. In real life, if that ended up happening, if he got upset at me because of that, I would sack his ass into next week. Holy crap. That's astonishing to me. That's astonishing to me, genuinely. But anyway, the big crew, the big men themselves, Barcelona, how can we do against them? Let's go in and see. We're going to change this, and we're going to watch the full match and see how this ends up going. Can we perform good against them? Well, if we're making passes like that, probably not, but we'll end up seeing. Normally, this formation does fairly well against them. We have a couple of missing players, but in general, we're in good form. The defensive lineup is a wee bit tired, but they should be fine for this particular game. But we might need to make a couple of subs of defense later on, especially if Victor ends up running rampant. But thankfully not. We're doing okay there. Enric is on fire, so he should be fine for this. Ooh. Is that a card? It should be. No, he's been awfully light now at the start of this Champions League game, I'll tell you that. Oh, we're just bouncing the ball up and down. We're in a more cautious mentality than them, it seems. Bart van den Berg as their goalkeeper, by the way. They spent 100 million on him last year. Willy Kambwala, formerly of Crystal Palace, a former player I had. Ariel, someone they signed in the last transfer window. A 30-year-old defender who, honestly, in terms of the credentials that Barcelona has, is a wee bit lesser than what they should end up going for. But it'll be interesting to see how this ends up going. Lavia down. Hopefully Warren Emery isn't injured too badly. No, he's up, so that's good. How will Ard end up doing here? Ard is the captain today because Jude is off. Yes, indeed. Always thirsty for the assets. Anyway, in we go now. Ooh. Is that a card? That should be a card on Jude, shouldn't it? Yeah. Warren is getting targeted. Holy crap, that's the second time he's been cleaned out of it. That is fascinating to watch him get cleaned out of it. Esteban, too, an academy youth of Barcelona, never went anywhere else. Phenomenal player, one of the best in the world, too. They got mighty lucky with him. But it's out for another corner for us. We're performing particularly good here at the moment, so that's nice to end up seeing. But Bart van der Vaart comes out and ends up scoring or saving it up, because of course he does. Why wouldn't he end up having a fantastic display? Dervish, who has improved leaps and bounds under this Barcelona team, ready to capitalize on any mistake we end up making. He is one of their top goal creators, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not he ends up doing anything. But it is interesting that their defender and their center defensive midfielder have cards, so you would assume that that would lighten things down. Oh, dangerous that. There's no way they shouldn't have had a goal there. No way they shouldn't have had a goal there. Fascinating back and forth between them there. Jules Koundé, what a cross, but what good defensive orientation by us, out for a corner. Thankfully, our back line is a fairly good back line. They've worked long enough with each other now that there shouldn't be much of an issue with these three. Now. Ooh, dangerous that too. Vinny out wide. I don't like how often Vinny Jr. gets caught out on passes. It happens quite a substantial amount of time. He still is the best person in the world in that position. which is one of the reasons why we play this formation, because he is that good. But it is astonishing how often that happens. Blade now. Gay is performing exceptionally. That's the reason why he was the #1 player under 21 in the world. Willie Kambwala with a very nice pass in there. Matty, my friend, what's a crack-a-lackin'? I mean, yes, I'm excited about it. I will say, it does leave a number of questions for some of the players that are there, but I am fierce happy for it now. I think with the two of them, I think with the two of them now there, I think Rasmus Højlund might be able to shine. I am of the opinion that there's still a player in Rasmus Højlund. That might be too much copium, but I still think there's a player in him. I don't care if he's a prick. Roy Keane was a prick. David Beckham was a prick. Ronaldo's a prick. I don't care if you're a prick, so long as you have the vibe and the power and the intensity and the personality to go and do it. Like, Bruno's a whinge bag. I don't care that he's a whinge bag so long as he succeeds, you know? But with them, I think the two of them will just be focused on getting the goals in and getting things working out. They'll be powerful, they'll be strong. They can go out to the wing if they need to, which they shouldn't need to, but they can end up interchanging with the right back and the left back. So I think they're brilliant signings. I would still go and sign a striker, but I think they could be the creation for Højlund. Yeah, he's only 21. He's not even 22 yet. He's 22 this year. I think if he goes to Inter Milan, he'll be a monster in Inter Milan. I wouldn't be selling him now. If he's going on loan to Inter, and Inter are giving us a large loan payment for it, I'm okay with that. I don't like selling him. Now, I know that an awful lot of the fan base are done with him, and that's 100% understandable. I don't blame them. But I honestly think there's a player there. Come on. Come on. But yeah, I think you're playing Højlund in the wrong role. He's a pressing forward, not a poacher. Well, that's the thing. He's playing too deep. I brought up the tactical bar a couple of times. I'm not doing it again. I think at the moment he's been playing like Harry Kane, and he's not able for that. It also doesn't help that the attackers that we have at the moment, Alejandro Garnacho and Bruno, haven't been passing to him correctly and instead taking the shots on him. There are a crap ton of times when Garnacho would take a 30-yard shot that could have been a pass to Højlund. And it just seemed towards the end of the season that Alejandro Garnacho hated Højlund with a passion. And I think that was one of the problems that was coming down there. It just seemed like the front line despised each other. And like that's where I think it's going to end up going. So I don't know. I still think there's a phenomenal player there. I still think we need another striker with him. I think Obi should end up going on loan. So I think if you were able to get a striker, I would have went for Jonathan Davis myself, considering we don't have the money to end up spending a wild on other players. But it's still possible we might be able to get Gyökeres. But Mbumbu and Cunha are two phenomenally aggressive players who know what they're at. So we'll see what ends up happening. Well, Chelsea would be my first choice. I am kind of shocked he said no to Chelsea and Mbumbu, to be honest. But I guess they do have too many midfielders, so it might be just you're a wagon in the wheel at that point. And is that the case? There's too much eggs and there's too many chefs in the kitchen at Chelsea as a reason to end up stopping for it? I don't know. The other problem too is Cunha actually going to be used as a 10 or will he be used as a false 9? Because if he's used as a false 9 instead of Højlund, I don't know. In that case, it's okay to end up doing that. But I don't want to use him as that either. Have the two 10s there. It does mean Garnacho and Mount probably should be sold now. I still think there's a player in Mount as well. But I've already given up that hill. There's no point fighting that hill. I've given it up. I still think there's a great player in Mount. Yeah, it seems like Højlund is trying to play more like Xerxes instead of how he played when he first came in. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I think he has to come back in order to help people up. I think that's part. I think he's playing the way Ruben is telling him to play. And I think the two 10s aren't. I think Højlund is playing exactly like Ruben wants him to play. but the two tens haven't been, and because Bruno and Garnacho or Mount or whoever was there were playing too far forward, taking too many shots, and not passing the ball, I think it ended up affecting Højlund. And towards the end of the season, his confidence was shot. Like the fact that I went to the West Ham game, the fact that in the West Ham game, for most of the game, Mount was in front of Højlund, annoyed the shite out of me. And maybe that was the point. Maybe that's what they wanted. But that's been happening all season, and I don't think that's fair on Højlund, and I don't think that's the right player to be doing it. If that was Amarin's idea, I think he's an idiot. But hey, who knows? We'll see. They're two good signings, but are they worth the money? Are they worth the 60 million and 50 million we're going to be spending on them? I don't know. I would have preferred this summer if we went out and found diamonds in the rough. But hey, we know they're Premier League proven. We know they can play in the Premier League. We know they've been good in teams that are bad. So that's the way to end up looking at it. Like you play in the Premier League proven tax, but hey, let's hope they actually prove it. And yes, I know I'm pronouncing his name right. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it what? It's Bembumo or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. Well, that's what happens when you go to tier 10, my friend. But what do you think, Maddie? Do you think I'm smoking the copium? Do you think I'm completely wrong in my dissertation of what I'm saying? What do you think of my opinions? And do you think, with the pretty much confirmation that we're getting him, that Bruno is actually going to be leaving the door, even though now it's coming out stating that Bruno doesn't want to leave with the inclusion of these two new signings? Kinder Bruno. Oh, what a save. What a save by O'Connor. Jason with a brilliant save there. This has been a dangerous game. Both sides have been attacking each other just as much as the other. I'd say the stats are going to be very bad for this game. I'd say the state that neither of us have been at anything, but this has been very yo-yo ball, to be honest. At the moment, with the changes that United have ended up making, I am satisfied with the way that we've gone. I do think there are more that I'd end up doing. We do still need a goalkeeper. I probably would be going for that Gracia buck from Espanyol, spend the 40 million on the release clause and end up getting him. Mike McGann has always been good and always been showcased as good, but is it dangerous picking someone from the Serie A again? I know you don't want to get into the viewpoint of burning a division for the player's misfortune. Otherwise, you wouldn't end up getting Gyökeres because you'd be burned by Darwin Núñez. I know, in different club, whole shtick. But, you know, I don't know. I don't like that there's some incredible youths out there that we're not looking at. I would love Faustin Mastantino. I don't think we were ever in for him. I don't know if he's even considering the Premier League yet. But I love that player with a goddamn passion. Everything I've seen about him tells me he's an instant star. And I'd love if we ended up getting him. And then the other thing, too, is we have a couple of youths coming in as well. We have that left back coming in as well. So that'll be good interconnective play with Dogu, to have him coming in as well. So we'll see what ends up happening. Yeah, I'm excited for Konya and Mbumbu. I agree with you. I think they should be used as 210s. I think they will flourish the most. Bruno, I really hope he doesn't leave. I don't care what others say about him. I really want him to stay. Easily our best player. It's like De Gea shifted the role of saving the club off to Bruno. I mean, look, I can't say, and I won't say, that Bruno hasn't saved us. But I can say, and I will say, Bruno has caused an awful lot of problems for us. Bruno's passing is either breathtaking or dog shit. And there's no in between in Bruno's passing. It's breathtaking or it's dog shit. And when it's dog shit, holy fuck does it cause problems. Like, if it wasn't for that incredibly daft ruling that ended up having both hands on the ball, we would have conceded that goal versus Aston Villa, and Aston Villa would have been in the Champions League. That was Bruno's fault, and that is not the first time throughout the season that Bruno has done bad passes that have led to situations where the entirety of the back line is not ready. Now, that's on the back line. They should be ready. They should be the defensive line, okay? But Bruno is an integral reason why we have had so many concessions this season, okay? And as Mark Goldbridge has said, we need a rebuild with Bruno, and we need a rebuild definitely without him. Considering you're now starting a brand new system with brand new players, do you start with a brand new captain? Do you start with a brand new positioning, not having the Bruno anchor over your head? In my opinion, at this point, when you can get 100 million to 150 million, the answer to that question is yes. Yes, you're getting rid of one of the best players in the goddamn world. Simple as. Kevin De Bruyne turned around and said, if there's one player in the Premier League I'd want to have my team, it's Bruno Fernandes. He's a creative machine. And with Cunha and with Mbumbo, he will end up creating so much stuff if he works with them well and ends up passing correctly. So this could be the best situation for him. But I don't mind if Bruno goes. And I kind of think he should. You know? That's my viewpoint on it. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're giving up the only anchor that's keeping you there. I think we're currently too good of a team to get relegated. Okay? I think we could easily have a bottom half result again next season. I think it sacks Amorim if we do. I mean, but that's every wife. Like, that's every wife. Like, Di Maria. People will joke about Di Maria. Di Maria, when he was with United, didn't like England. He didn't like the weather of England. But the reason why Di Maria tanked his United career was because his wife turned around and told him to. So, like, that's everybody, unfortunately. I don't. And the reason why I don't, Maddie, is because De Ligt has it. Mazraoui has it. Lisandro Martinez has it. Cunha will have it. Like, you're not bringing in weak-minded players. Cunha and Mbumbo, or however you pronounce them, are both ballsy, aggressive, hard-felt, strong, intense personality players. Honestly, I don't think you lose the leadership getting rid of Bruno. And I think you might be better having a different leader. If I'm honest. Okay? So that's my viewpoint on it. But I understand the viewpoint of he's the best captain we have there at the moment. I don't actually think he is. I think, honestly, if he left tomorrow morning, I'd give it to De Ligt. I'd give it to De Ligt. He's and I know he's a failure everywhere that he's went, but that's a crock of horse manure, and he just is a captain. You can see it in everything he does. I think you need a goalkeeper, another CM, a DM, and a cam. Lad, we need one of every position on the pitch. Like, honestly, we need one of every position in the pitch because we need a cover for every position in the pitch. Not this year, but we do need it. So, like, we need one of every position in the pitch. True, I think De Ligt has it, but I think he's the only one I've seen that actually has it. But you probably see more than I do, to be honest. Lisandro Martinez definitely has it as well. I mean, it might be done and dusted, but Mason Mount has it as well, because he was the captain in Chelsea. I know I potentially overhype Mount, but you know, we definitely need a new goalkeeper. But yeah, but at the same point in time, and this is where stats end up misconfusing you, I think the reason I think we need a new goalkeeper isn't because Onana is shit. The reason why I think we need a new goalkeeper is because the defense have given up on him. And that's the difference. Onana has some of the best stats for goalkeeping in the league this year. I know that's astonishing to state, but it's true in terms of pure stats. He actually hasn't been bad as a goalkeeper this year. But the defense don't trust him, and it's blatantly obvious in every move the defense does. So that's the reason we need to get rid of him. I mean, but there was blatant lies about De Ligt at Bayern Munich anyway, because people said that they ended up bringing Eric Dyer, and Eric Dyer ended up taking all of De Ligt's playing time, which was horse manure because Eric Dyer played 17 games. Of the 17 games he played, 16 of them were with De Ligt. Like, you know. And hey, you're entitled to your opinion, Skull, stating that he's shit. I disagree. I don't think he is. He saved us on a number of occasions. What the hell was that, O'Connor? Shit, what the hell was that? But to each their own. Like, there's nothing wrong with having your opinion about it. I think Alejandro Garnacho's been a failure this season, even though he's had an incredible amount of goal contributions, the whole lot. But it doesn't really matter, you know? It's just, and that's my point. If he's fit, Matty, that's my point. If Mason Mount is fit, I think he's revolutionary, and he would have been the revolutionary element of Ten Hag's system if he wasn't injured the minute he joined us. And I think there's still time for Mount to be that. But yeah, I think I gave up because Onana because Onana is shit. Maybe. But yeah, like, you know, if the defense isn't confident in the keeper, how are they going to do shit? Like I said, I never said De Ligt was shit. Yeah, but that's my point. That's why I think he needs to be sold. Like, you know, that's why he needs to be sold. Like, it's horrible that Ten Hag got rid of De Gea. I mean, I still think towards the end of the season there that Mount wasn't fit, nor was Ugarte, and a number of players weren't fit that were playing, and that's some of the reason why the performances were so bad. But time will tell. To be frank, De Gea was your player of the year at least 3 times. Busy goalkeeper, nothing new. I mean, if you could get him, I'd sign De Gea back in a heartbeat. I'd sign him back next season, if you could get him. The fact that we sold the Golden Glove winner is a fucking joke. Honestly, a goddamn joke. Has he signed it? I didn't think he signed it yet. What the hell was that? Because there's a lot of misinformation being put about players' contracts and the whole lot. Oh, well, fair enough. I haven't been on X yesterday, so I didn't see where the things have gone about it. Yeah, the Porto goalkeeper is sound, but you're spending 50 million and add-ons up to 80, so you're spending more than you paid on Onana for him. Costa is a fantastic goalkeeper. He's young. He seems to have the potential to it, but he's just too expensive for us at the moment. That's the unfortunate thing with Costa. We're likely to go for Gracia from Espanyol. We might go for Mike Mignolet because you can get him for 40 million. There's a chance we'll go for that Suzuki buck we were looking at last year. Our value for a goalkeeper is about 40 million. Now, would we take Costa if you could pay it over the 5-year period? Then yeah. Honestly, no. Like, I understand Kelleher's a fantastic player, but you can't go for a Liverpool player. It's out of the question. He could be the best player in the world. You can't go for a Liverpool player. Just as a United, A, he wouldn't join, because you'd hope that he wouldn't join, and B, you just can't be doing it. You just can't be doing it. I think there is only so much a defender can do, and they need a competent keeper. Yes. Like, again, I don't think he's as bad as everyone says he is, Blockbuster. I don't think Onana's as bad as everyone says he is. But he's lost the defense, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's just gone. Barthez was a World Cup winning goalkeeper. In 1 year, he lost the entirety of the defense. Goodbye. You're gone. Like, I don't think he's that bad. That doesn't mean he's good. I just don't think he's definitely not great. I think he's just good. He is, in my opinion, he is a Premier League quality goalkeeper. Okay? There's been a lot of stupid mistakes. But who knows? Who knows? Also, it is funny how the account ends up getting lost straight away, isn't it, Benny? Yeah, but that's my that was my point with Porto. Like, I don't think Costa is an example for us. But then we might do something stupid and go for someone like Martin van der Vaart and go for someone really young and go that way.
He's BBBBB bad. Bad to the posts. Benicaj played text-to-speech for 1,000 channel points.
Yeah, like Costa's a fantastic choice, but you're just not going to get him. I do love, by the way, let me now, considering I glazed him earlier on, allow me now to give a bad word about him. I do love the hypocrisy of Mark Goldbridge shouting about the fact that Ten Hag didn't sign Onana, knowing damn well that he wouldn't. God damn it.
Onana, he's bad. Bad to the posts. Benicaj played text-to-speech for 1,000 channel points.
Hey, we've had this discussion before. I don't actually think he's all that bad. He's definitely mellowed down in the last few years. He has actually some genuinely okay opinions. You know, it's different with every individual situation. Like, why? It's the same with everyone. Why does anyone end up listening to me? He is entertaining. He has a good voice. He's a good diction. He keeps a good pace. He's on time. Like, you know, he's sound in most of the cases with it. So, like, you know. I mean, I don't get where you're getting that one, Benny, but fair enough. You can tell me why if you want, but I don't get why you think he's disgusting. Crack, the problem is we're still going for young players for future or players for now. Well, like, hold on. Like, Konya and I'm going to continue to butcher his name, so apologies for this. Konya and Mbumbo are young, but they're players for now. Like, that's different than what we've been doing. Like, the last two transfer windows, ironically, is... I mean, Benny, that's fair. That's a fair enough point. That's a fair enough point to end up making. However, it's blatantly obviously hyperbole. It's blatantly obviously sarcasm. You know? So, understandable. Understandable. That's a horrible thing to end up doing, but it's 100% hyperbole. It's 100% a joke. So, I mean, it depends on how you end up wanting to go about it. If that's not acceptable to you, that's fine. I took it as a joke. It's an over-the-line joke, but I also don't mind those jokes. That's my personal take. I have black humor in me. I actually don't mind those jokes. To each their own. You know? To be frank, last time a Manchester club replaced a stalwart and goalkeeper, took them a few tries to get it right. I mean, it was the same thing with City, and it's going to be the same thing with us. We're going to go through 2 or 3 goalkeepers. It took them ages until they found Alisson. I feel like Man U has become a place for promising players to die. I don't, Blockbuster, but we'll see what ends up happening with them. I don't, because everyone that leaves United ends up having success, so they learn from the pressure of United anyway. My big problem with United is it's a pressure pot, and one of the worst pressure pots in the game, because win, lose, draw, or just fucking smile, you're going to be on Talk Sport with every arsehole in the world talking about you. So I think that's the problem with United. It's just a crock pot of pressure. You know? I don't know if he's ended up hearing any of that because he's a regular user, but yeah. I mean, I kind of agree. There's an awful lot of his opinions that I don't like lately, Matty. I kind of agree with you. There's an awful lot of his opinions I don't like lately. However, he's not wrong on a few of them. Ruben Amorim has been crap in the post-tour interviews, as has Omar Barada. They've made them both look crap. So, like, I understand his raging that type of way. The fact that they're both 26 is my point. They're young, Skull, but they're not so young that they're not ready. So I think they're both ready, but we'll see. But last year we didn't sign anyone over the age of 24. Mazraoui is over the age of 24. Mazraoui is 27, isn't he? Yeah, Mazraoui was 27. So we did. Last year we signed a number of players that were over. De Ligt is 25. We signed a couple of players that were over it. The problem is definitely the media. Like, United is such a crock pot. It's such a pressure point that that's where it ends up coming. I think some fans on the board are expecting instant result from young players. They are, which is the problem about it. But it is one of those situations too that when you're old enough, you're good enough, and when you're good enough, you need to be criticized as being good enough. You still need to give leeway to young players to still make the odd mistake. Like Dogu, to me, had a number of putrid performances. That wasn't me writing him off as a player, but he needed to be critiqued for the performances. Problem with United is it's do or die. It's slaughter or be ready. I understand comedy exists in a vacuum. I agree with that mindset. Goldbridge isn't a comedian. He's an influencer. To me, there's a fourth wall that exists if you go to a stand-up show for that. There's not one when you stream on YouTube, Twitch, and even if there is, it's less tin and physical with the live audience. I mean, that's a fair enough opinion, Benny. But the thing is, with Goldbridge, is he's always been on the line with his element of comedy. So if you're watching him, you know that that's the case. And that's why it's perfectly acceptable not to watch him. Oh yeah, he's a complete shock jockey. He's a complete shock jockey. Now, he's tamed it in the last couple of years, but you know he's a shock jockey, and you watch him knowing he's a shock jockey. That doesn't mean his opinions doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that he doesn't once in a while come up with the right thing. That doesn't mean that you need to disrespect him by calling him by the name that he's not using anymore, by going and calling him Brent DeSarce, or completely ripping upon him for not being a United fan because he's a Norris United fan. Who gives a shit? He's been following United for 10 years. He has been more accurate at the shit that's been going on there. You don't need to berate and harass the man. He has bad opinions. He has good opinions. That's my point, you know, when it comes down to talking about him. You know, I glaze him every now and again because I like some of his opinions, I like some of his content, and he's a good content creator because he knows how to fucking hit it. So that's my viewpoint on it. But to each their own. That's not me trying to tell you to watch him. One player we signed, De Ligt, was 24, fair enough. The problem, Salah could have had 10 bad games. Yes. Yeah, definitely. Like, we're just always under the spotlight. That's what made it hard for Ruben when he ended up coming in as well. Because, like, Ruben's not going to get over the fact that he has the worst win-loss record of any United manager since Ferguson. He has a worse win-loss record at the moment than Moyes. Moyes got sacked with the win-loss record that he has. So he's not going to get over that. And if he even performs bad in the first game next season, he's fucked. That's why I think, as I said in a stream before, United have 6 performances before he gets the sack next season. That's my opinion. This season, Blockbuster, he had a couple of bad performances the season before. With the season that Liverpool finished 8th, he had a couple of performances there where it wasn't acceptable performances he was putting in. You know, so you have to look at it throughout all of the perspectives. You know, Salah has had stinkers. Not as many as you'd expect, as you might, expect to end up happening every now and again, but he has had stinkers. Go with them for now. Hopefully they'll make the change. Notice I say nothing about his takes or opinions, just that I do not like him and think he's an absolute terrible influence on his viewers. I mean, that's fair. That's 100% fair. Same way as Andrew Tate has terrible influence on his type of people. Like, you know, you can be an asshole all you want. I don't know. If you can credit him for some of the good things he said. I just don't like how if you ever mention him at all, it's just immediate. His opinions don't matter. That's my viewpoint on it, but you know, yeah, I think at this point you know what I mean. Anyway, so there's Bruno, but United is different. That's my thing. But every United player is under the gun. Like Anthony and Maguire And kind of the reason why I'd like them to come back so they end up getting their fun. Slated immediately for their price that they were bought for. Not fair to either of the two players because they're not the ones who ended up doing the purchase of the sign. God damn it. Is Gay gone? Yeah. Shit. And like completely and utterly just devoid of anything. You know, hate the hate on them as a result, you know? Shit. Okay, anyway. If you put up with that drivel of 10 or 12 years for money, not the fan as much. If you put up with that drivel shite of 10 to 12 years for money and not you're as much as a fan as any. I mean, that's my point, yeah. You're in the spotlight because the club and it's the fans levy the over expectations of being in the top 5 year of the. But that's not an over expectation, Benny, for United, because we make enough money for it. We make enough money. We were in a good enough position. We were in it for years. We should be good enough for it. The size that we are with the fan base we are, we should be in that position. That's like turning around saying Real Madrid shouldn't be fighting for the championship in La Liga. That's like turning around saying PSG shouldn't be consistently winning the FA, the thing, you know? R&R, how are you, my friend? Pleasure to end up having you in. Thank you so much for the follow. How is your day treating you, my friend? True, I think Bruno does well, but the team does so shit. If Bruno doesn't perform, it even looks worse. Yeah. Yeah, Salah was massive this season, especially considering he went through Ramadan and the whole lot. At the end of the day, United's the biggest team in the world with media. Well, they're not the biggest team in the world, but they're bloody close to it. I am a Manchester United fan, my friend R&R. I am a masochist as a result, unfortunately, but what can you do about that? What about yourself? Who do you support? And by the way, in everything I say there, I'm happy to be contested on what I say. If you disagree with me, let me know, because I want to end up learning. Cork City, not too bad. I ended up playing as Liverpool on this particular save, even though I'm a United fan, so maybe I'm a paper United fan as a result of that. But who knows? It's a bit of crack. I'm just a massive fan of this game, and it was an opportunity I needed to take, so I went with it. Party Boy, thank you so much for the follow. How are you, my friend? Is the crack at 90? Is your day treating you good? Thank you so much for the follow. It's a pleasure to have you join us here today. When you say the LOI, I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that, so could you expand on what you mean by LOI, R&R? The media see the United of old who won everything but have to realise that that's not the case anymore and they're contributing to the toxic environment. Well, no. The sad thing about the media is it's not the media's job. It's not the media's job to curtail that. It's the media's job to talk about what the people want to talk about. And the actual problem is that the fans against United want to talk about United falling. The fans for United want to talk about United rising. And there are so many in between that they'll just consistently talk. And they have to talk about what sells, and what sells is United. And that's just the fact. People love that we're failing, people hate that we're failing, and people want to talk about it either way. And there's more people that want to talk about that than the likes of Ipswich. Not Ipswich. I consistently getting them mixed up. Who's the team that got double relegated? How do I keep messing this up? Who's the team that got double relegated? Duck, one of you tell me. Luton. Then Luton. Like, they don't want to talk about Luton as opposed to that. Like, that is a talking point that should be brought up. How do you screw up double relegation? And nobody's talking about it. But United fail twice, 3 times, and they do it that way, you know? I watch the League of Ireland every now and again. I'm not 100% up to it. I will say it's a shame that Shelbourne seem to have fallen back and Shamrock Rovers are back to their kind of dominant display in the league. It's a shame because I like Damien Duff. I honestly think he should have taken the win last season as a way to get out and go to a bigger club in England. But fair play to him for standing to his gumption and going to it. If I was to support anyone in the League of Ireland, it would probably be Sligo Rovers, to be honest. But I don't really support anyone, unfortunately. Sunderland never go back-to-back relegations. but crack, that proves United is the biggest team in the world. I mean, we're definitely top 5. Even now, even with the failure of a state that we're in, we're definitely still top 5 in the world. You can argue about that all you want to, but we definitely are still top 5. We make too much money. We stand too strong in what we do. But, you know, you go with what you have. But, like, it is unfair the amount of crap that's put on the United players. But, you know, you know that when you join United, you need to be willing to build with that pressure point. And you're wrong for coming to the club if you're not willing and able to end up doing it. It's the same thing with Liverpool. Darwin Núñez has gotten a crap ton of hate. Not as much as he would if he was in United. God, I worry the poor bastard if he had joined us like we had thought of going in for him. But Darwin Núñez has gotten a lot of hate with Liverpool because he misses open bars the entirety of time. But he's also gotten a lot of love because you know that he's ended up coming down and you respect him and try and build him back up. And, like, that's the viewpoint that ends up, and that's wrong, Skull. There's no way that's true. At the current moment in time, the number 1 club in the world is Real Madrid, and I'm sorry, it just is. But Darwin Núñez got a crap ton of hate. But could you imagine the hate he would have gotten if he was at United? He's a good player. He deserves to come down to it. I think there's a player in him. You're still right to sell him if you're selling him, which I don't think you are this season. But, like, I don't even think they're 2. I don't even think they're 2. To be honest, I think... Honestly, I think it's Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, United, Arsenal. Honestly. Liverpool, and it might even be different, but I think La Liga holds a the fact that La Liga controls so much of South America and down that particular region of it, there's so many of the Spanish incumbents that follow them that it might be that. Bayern Munich are not that big of a club. Bayern Munich are big in Germany, and that's about it. Like, in terms of fan influence, Liverpool have massive fans all over Asia. We have massive fans all over Asia. Barcelona and Real Madrid have massive fan base in Latin America and Mexico and down the further south of South America. Like, it's massive, the influence around the world that they have that isn't taken into consideration when it comes down to the size of the club. When you're talking about the biggest in terms of fan base, it comes down to that. City is growing. Arsenal is growing. Bayern Munich is growing, but they're nowhere near that. The top 4 still are Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool, and Manchester United, in my opinion. You know, I could be wrong. There's probably stats that would prove that I'm wrong, but hey, that's just the way that from what I have seen, what I can go by, that's what I know it as. And I'm happy to be contested about it. Benny, you probably end up knowing more than me the size of the likes of United and Liverpool in America. Their fan bases are probably large, and the same in kind of more southern regions for Barcelona and Real Madrid. Am I deluded, or do you think I have any grounds for what I'm stating? But you don't need to spend big to be a big club. Like, we joke about it there, but, like, Oldham would not be considered a big club, and the team that they ended up going up against in that playoff game. But they had 50,000 people. They had 50,000 people in Wembley. And I know it's a playoff game, but there are clubs in South America that would dream of that. There are clubs in Germany that would dream of that. 50,000 people coming to an event like that. And that means that there's a fan base there for it. Would they do it every day? Who knows? Like, there are massive fan bases in those clubs, underestimated and undervalued because we don't take into consideration. If you're talking just England, United aren't even near the top. If you're talking just England in terms of fan base, they're still massive, but as a club, they're not even near the top. In terms of Europe, like, who knows? But that's just my viewpoint on what it is. And maybe I'm wrong. And if you think I'm wrong, let me know. Maybe I should make a video about it. Now, Duck, you're going to need to expand a teensy tiny bit. There are a lot of Atletico clubs. I suppose you mean Atletico Madrid, but you're going to have to expand on which Atletico you mean. By the way, this game is ending as a draw. What the hell are we able to do here? There's nothing we can do. Is there anything we can do? I don't think so. I think we're just screwed. I think we just have to hope. I think we go ultra attacking and just hope. Oh, Burke, don't tell me that's a red. Okay. Bundesliga 2 is in the top 5 most watched leagues in Europe in terms of person attendance. Yes. Yes. But again, that's the point, that the Germans like the Bundesliga. And of course they do. It's really cheap. They own half of the club, of all of the clubs that are there. And of course it's enjoyed that way. But it's not the most watched everywhere else. So, like, in my opinion, and I could be wrong on this, the Germans' club's appeal outside of it aren't that big. There's no way PSG is that big. None. No way PSG is that big. PSG wouldn't even be in the top 20. There's no way. PSG is a player club. It's a player club. PSG, like they're Messi fans. They're Mbappe fans. They're Neymar fans. They're not PSG fans. There's no way PSG is in the top 20. Well, yeah, because they're owned by the fucker. Like, they're owned by a Saudi man. And, like, the Saudis don't actually like football that much, funnily enough. I mean, I got tested if you can give me the stat for it, but I don't believe for a second PSG are in the top 20. I mean, Liverpool is definitely there, because there's still people in Ireland and the whole lot that love Liverpool. Celtic is probably there. Like, Celtic are probably considered one of the top clubs in the world. Rangers might be considered one of the top clubs in the world. You'd be shocked at what clubs are given massive fan bases. Like, Chelsea and Celtic and Rangers have insane fan bases. You know? So, like, you don't know. I can just speak for United, and United are a massive, massive, massive club. Far bigger than the objectors to Manchester United state that we are. But it's going to die if we don't bloody improve. And that's the big problem. We need to improve. If we don't improve, we die. So it's coming to the point now, 10 years in, where the youths aren't following United anymore. So there'll be an entire generation without being Manchester United fans. And that's the problem. Now, the history might be enough to bring it in and all of that type of stuff. But we'll see. I swear the only Madrid fans are glory hunters. Potentially. Potentially. That's 100% potentially. Like, the same thing could be said for Man City fans. And up until the last 10 years, that's probably been true. But there are young kids now that have grown up being City fans, and whether or not they'll swap when City stop being big, who knows? But they'll end up skewing and moving and potentially staying. Like, I know a load of young kids that are following City now. In the next 10 years, if City still remain a big team, they'll contain them and consistently continue bigger. Now, if you don't mind me asking, where are you getting them stats, Skull? Because I don't believe them. I don't believe PSG is that high up. Well, I'm not moving from United. I might stop watching them, but I'm not going to move from United. Like, I'm not. You have stats. I'm not going to argue with you, but I just don't. I need context on them. Like, I genuinely think that PSG fans are just Messi, or just Neymar, or just Mbappe fans. Oh, well, if we're going by follower base, that means nothing. Especially if you're talking about on social media, that means nothing. I mean, you mightn't be wrong about that with Juventus. I've never heard anyone say that, but that's actually remarkably accurate. Can we score before this game ends? Can we score before this game ends? Oh, Willem. Come on, guys. Last chance. Nah, it's gone. Boston offside. Nope, 0-0, unfortunately. We were still doing good, but it's annoying that. Blockbuster, by the way. Whew. I don't know enough about Serie A to be able to comment on that one now. That's an interesting comparison. Why would it be that? God, look at these stats. We're almost identical. Yeah, I shouldn't. Ardguller screwed us a bit, and the fact that Gay got injured hurt us because we would have taken it. We needed Marco to be here. I probably shouldn't have taken Vinicius off. Anyway, we learn. So our first matchup with Barcelona ends in a draw. We're still doing grand in this league position. So we have 1 loss, 1 draw, and 3 wins. 4 wins, sorry. Shut up, you. Man, sacked for less. We literally this is our schedule so far. We literally have 1 draw and 1 loss. Could you imagine sacking a well, I mean Julian Nagelsmann, but could you imagine sacking a manager with that record? I mean, don't worry about that, Skull. I'm finishing up now anyway, so I'm just going to through the core tales of the other ones first, so just bear with me 1 second. If you want to end up staying, because I'm going to end up rating us on to someone else, and that'll give you some points if you want. So for YouTube, Kick, and TikTok, I thank you all so much, even though there haven't been a single viewer on any of the 3 platforms. Well, 1 on Kick, but it was a bot.